How's it going, everybody? Today I've got a small aluminum welding project to work on, and I'm by no means an expert in aluminum welding. I've really only done it a handful of times, so I hope the project turns out well. But if not, maybe some of you more experienced welders can give me some tips on how to improve. A while back I did buy an AC/DC TIG welder specifically so that I could work on some aluminum projects that not only that we have around the farm, but also some automotive related stuff. So this is a great way for me to get a little bit more experience doing some TIG AC welding. Let's go ahead and get to it. For the project I'm working on today, I need to weld these two pieces of aluminum hand line together. These are two different end pieces. They're both female sides. And as anyone who's ever done TIG welding knows, really probably one of the most important steps is good preparation of the materials. So I'm going to start off by just getting both of these pieces prepped and ready for welding.
I am breaking a rule of aluminum welding at this point, as I have used this same sanding disc on wood, steel, and aluminum. This didn't appear to be an issue, at least for welding of sprinkler pipes. I would recommend against using a contaminated sanding disc if you are working on a higher stakes aluminum project.
I fully expect that throughout this project I'll be dipping my tungsten a handful of times. And I do find it useful to have a fair number of tungstens ready to go. So before I get started, I'll use this. I have this tungsten grinder that just mounts onto a Dremel, and I find this to be extremely handy for someone like me who's a little bit newer to TIG welding. This allows me to prep up the tungstens quickly and consistently. So I will go ahead and get all of these ready to go. And if I end up dipping all of these, I'll just take a little break and re-prep all of them. It's really nice after I dip a tungsten to be able to just grab another one and keep on going. The camera died on me before, so you won't see the initial portion of the welding, I don't believe, but I will go ahead and show you where I'm at. I have 3 spots. The cats are trying to get into some food that's in the bar. I have it tacked up in about 3 spots. At this location, I have about an inch of weld. This is probably an inch and a half, and an inch and a half at that location as well. And overall, I am really happy with how it's going. I think to start with, my post flow was a little short, too short, and my tungsten was getting really bad discoloration. So I increased my post flow, and that seems to have solved that problem. I think if I can just now get in the rhythm and get a bead going down across it, I should be able to finish it up. And I believe it does look like it's fusing well on both sides. We'll see how well I did when we hook the pipe in. Part of this project is done. Welding around that pipe was kind of the part I was mainly worried about. I didn't know how that was going to go, but I'm really pleased with how that turned out. The last part that I'm going to be working on is when I pulled the riser out of here, it completely stripped all of the aluminum threads out. So I have a little piece of aluminum that I'll just place over that and plug that off by welding it in place. And I'll go ahead and get this aluminum cut up and get on that. I'm done getting everything welded together, and overall I'm really happy with the result. Portions of the weld that actually look pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'll show it to you here real quick. Again, I welded over top of, there's a spot for a riser just like on this side. I welded a piece of aluminum over that because the threads got torn out when the riser was removed. And the welds on the top certainly aren't perfect, but I do think they'll hold everything together. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how the welding turned out on this piece. All that's left to do now is get it plugged into the water system and see if there's any leaks. But I actually think it's gonna hold quite well. We're out in the field, and now we'll go ahead and test out the aluminum piece that I welded up. I have this old hose here, and it has a male end, so this will go into the piece. You can see the welds here. And then on the back side, we can directly go in to another pipe. To start with, this hose hasn't been used in quite a long time, so I'm just going to blow that out. Make sure if there's a bunch of junk inside the hose that we get all of that flushed out. And then the end of this pipe felt a little heavy, so I think it has some mud in there. We'll flush that pipe out. And after that, I'll put the end plug in the pipe and we'll pressurize the system and make sure everything is working as it's supposed to. After getting everything all hooked up and testing it under pressure, everything worked great. At least everything that I welded together worked great. It's just that this old hose, it has so many holes in it. But overall, I'm really happy with it because we can easily go and pick up some more hose, move our fittings over to the new hose, and then we're ready to go. So I'm really happy with this. I think I'll end it off there.